I know I look like a train wreck. Hello? Can you tell I've been crying? Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Noelle. This is Noelle 7 Pages. Really happy to have you here. I'm so stoked for bookoplathon. I did the month-long bookopoly in September, and I did one roll at a time, which was so fun and chill, and this is like the extreme exact opposite of that energy, but I'm stoked nonetheless. So I'm here to tell you, I'm like pre-filming this intro. The readathon starts tomorrow. The readathon starts at 5 o'clock my time. I'm just excited. I love Becca's bookopoly. I love bookoplathon. I'm really excited that I get to be on Deja's live stream for some of the official sprints on Saturday, and we will probably just go along for the ride of the chaos that we know this vlog will be. Like, we know that these 24-hour readathon vlogs are straight chaos. Not that this is 24 hours. In fact, it's 48 hours. So obviously I will be sleeping. I'm not a machine, please. So there will be naps, there will be sleeps, but there will also be lots of reads and probably lots of caffeine, probably lots of alcohol for me, and it's just gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a blast and a half. So thanks for hanging out with me. It's going to be interesting because I do have a very strict March TBR. You can check out my TBR video. So hopefully I won't have to stray too far. Hopefully I won't have to stray too far from the books that I still have to read for this month. But nonetheless, Bookopoly is just gonna do what it's gonna do. So stick around for the chaos, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's go! Hello, so bookoplathon officially started like an hour ago. For fantasy, I think I'm just gonna finish A Court of Wings and Ruin because I'm working on finishing that for the vlog that you can go watch by the time you're seeing this video. Spoiler alert, I'm not having the best time with The Court of Wings and Ruin. I have about 25 chapters left, which sounds like a lot, but I'm like 3/4 of the way through this book. So that's my number one priority, is to finish Akawar so that I could just put it down and finish that vlog first of all, but also like start the other things. It's rainy, we are vibing, we're picking up takeout for dinner tonight so we don't have to make anything. It's just good. It's a good happy weekend, and I'm already like just on a high and excited about it. Okay, bye.
Listen, man, I'm not your friend.
Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep.
Good morning. It's like 7:30. My alarm didn't go off. I wanted to wake up at like 6. But I went to bed at like 2:30. I finally finished Akawar. I'm not really gonna talk about it because you can go watch my like very long ACOTAR vlog. I didn't love it, but I did love the ending. Thankfully, because I was not having a great time for most of the book. But it's done. First one is over, and the next 2 rolls have been like dropped, but I haven't looked at what they are. I'm on a little bit of a time crunch because in like an hour I have to get on live sprints on my channel with my friend Nicole. And I realized that I don't have champagne for the mimosas and sprints event that I planned. So I'm gonna run out and get champagne, a couple other random groceries, you know, just grocery shopping at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. And then also I want to get donuts and coffee just because if I'm out and I'm home before my boyfriend has to leave for work, then I can bring home some treats. So that's where we're at. I need to kind of get a running start today, I guess. And then it's like a lot of sprinting today, a lot of reading today. I'm kind of hoping to read like one book every 12 hours since there's like that's when the new rolls get dropped. So yeah, okay. You can come along on my little errand trip, and then it's back to reading. I can't believe how fast I'm going. It's only 8:20. And I've been all the way through the grocery store, across town, picked up the donuts. Hello? Yes. So now I just need to go get coffee. Well, I don't need to, but I really want to. Make it home and jump on sprints. Let's go. Okay, I just got done with sprints with Nicole, and I have like 30 minutes until I get on Deja's channel for the bookoplathon sprints, and like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling some type of way because all of the bookoplathon sprints have had like hundreds and hundreds of people on them, and I didn't feel like I was someone who gets nervous about those things. Like, I'm chill public speaking. I don't feel like I've struggled with stage fright per se, but you know what? I'm feeling some type of way. Okay, here's what I'm reading though. With Nicole this morning, I read The Kingdom, and I'm hoping that that will just end up counting for one of the next roles, because the roles that we got, the first like 2 roles that we got this time that weren't the first original roles, was contemporary and POC rep. So neither of those really have to do with The Kingdom. So I think I will pick up Displacement. Let me grab it. This is written by Kiku Hughes. She's Japanese American, and this is like a fictionalized narrative of herself. Like, this is Kiku. And she's written this kind of like sci-fi, maybe magical realism story of what it would be like for her to travel back in time when her grandmother was placed into the Japanese American internment camps in the 1940s. And I also will maybe try and keep reading The Kingdom and hope that I will be able to count it for something down the line, because Nicole finished it and we're buddy reading it. So now I can freely read The Kingdom and like live text her my reactions as I go. So that will be fun. And that's the update. I will update you either during or after the sprints to see how the festivities went, but wow. It is a fun day already, and I've only had 1 mimosa so far.
Oh, hi. Wait a minute. Who are you?
Hi, can you tell I've been crying? We're an hour or so into the vlog. Fuck, I'm also buzzed. Okay. We're an hour into sprints. I have gained over 200 subscribers in that time. I'm at about 750 right now, and I don't know how to act right now other than like supreme joy and gratitude. Like, my cheeks ache from like smiling and laughing. I had to turn my camera off on the live so that I could like shed a tear. I was not expecting this, so thank you to all of the new people that are here from Bookoplathon. Love you, appreciate you. This is what you've done for me, and I really am here for it. Thank you so much. I came to update you because I also realized that I have not told you anything about The Kingdom yet, and I'm like 100 pages into it. It's good, I'm enjoying it, but I don't know if I'm loving it. I like the way it's written. There's a lot of different style of like the chapters. Like, some of them are just normal chapters, some of them are like interview style, some of them are courtroom transcripts, some of them are other random things. So it's really interesting to read. It's definitely really quick to like get through. But the story itself, I am not really connected with yet. I'm not super invested. The fade to black scene, it's like, I don't know if I just don't read enough mysteries or thrillers or anything, but it seems like the information that we need is just like not there, and I don't even know if we're getting hints. And if it comes out that it's like a big plot twist out of nowhere, then I'm gonna be annoyed, because a lot of these chapters end with like, if the chapter continued, the next paragraph would be like key information. So like every chapter ends on a cliffhanger, but for like purely drama, like purely just to keep me in the dark as the reader. And I don't love that. Like, I need some information. And if you're gonna make me read a whole chapter and then end on a cliffhanger for no reason, I don't love it. But it is fun to read. I really enjoy the gimmick. I really enjoy the premise of like this theme park. Basically Disneyland, except all of the princesses are like robotic AI humans, kind of like Westworld, if you've watched the show on HBO, Westworld, where they've been like programmed to be perfect fantasy princesses and make everyone's dreams come true. And so what happens when there's like a murder in the park and it really looks like one of the princesses may have committed that murder? So we follow like all of these different timelines, all of these different documents, interviews, etc., including the perspective of like the main princess that we follow who's accused. Hopefully I'll finish it on these sprints and then we can talk later. Okay, love you, bye. Gonna get a refill for the nerves and the happiness. Okay, bye.
Here I go.
Walkie slush.
Good morning. I know I look like a train wreck, hot mess express right now. I just woke up, just made my coffee, and the roll drops were announced, the last rolls. So we got something set in the present day, and we also got something from a genre you don't typically read, which are excellent dream prompts, because that means I can have the kingdom count for present day. And maybe this is tweaking it a little bit, but I knew that I would have to squeak it in there somewhere. So I'm counting the kingdom for present day. I finished it before I went to sleep last night. I have kind of mixed thoughts about it, and I know I was buddy reading it with Nicole, and I think she ended up really liking it, and I enjoyed reading it. I just didn't love it, and I was confused on certain things. I felt like the author was just withholding information for like shock value's sake so that we could get the big reveal all at once. But the ending that we got, I'm a little frustrated because I don't feel like it was actually foreshadowed. I felt like we got a lot of like red herring foreshadows over and over and over, but we didn't get any of the actual hints that could have led me to possibly guess the ending until like the chapter before, which then I did. And it was like, okay, well, this is kind of silly because like you didn't hint at it until the very end, and then I was just kind of let down by this like shocker of an ending. It was fun to read. I really liked the concept. There's actually a lot of darker themes in here. Like, I would look up trigger warnings. Probably the big two would be descriptions of self-harm and also like being roofied, kind of. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, it is told in like mixed media, which was really fun. I feel like I haven't read a mixed media book like this in a very long time. So I liked the mixed media, but what I didn't like about it was that the timeline was all over the place. And it does tell you at the beginning of every chapter, 12 months before the trial, 16 months before the trial, 1 day before the murder. Like, it tells you where you're at in the timeline, but I didn't feel like we need to be going back and forth all over the place in the timeline for the whole book. I feel like it was only that way to scramble things so you're not sure like where we're at or what kind of happens first or next. And I didn't feel like that was for a good reason. I just felt like it was to extend the suspense, you know? So I'm a little confused. I think I'm in between a 2 and 3 star. I think I'll give it a 3 star. I did read it in one day. It was fun. It was unique. I liked the mixed media. I liked the ideas. I liked the like sci-fi aspect to it, even though the sci-fi really took a back seat to what was happening in the story. So that was the kingdom, which I'm counting retroactively for set in present day, because I mean loosely I think it's set in the 2020s, which I would consider present day if not a few years in the future, but whatever. You know what? It's good enough for me, okay? 7 hours to go in this readathon. I've got my game plan together. So there's been 4 roll drops, so there's 8 prompts, and I've decided I will try and attack one prompt, at least one prompt from each roll drop, so at least 4 prompts. And so now I've taken care of 2, because the first roll drop was dark cover and fantasy, so I finished the last like 300 pages of A Court of Wings and Ruin for fantasy. The next one was POC rep or contemporary, which I still have displacement. It's right here, displacement. So I think that's what I'm gonna do with my coffee right now, is try and get through this, or at least start this. And then the next one is the read a first book in a series, or the chance card, which was explained that you can write down like a number of books that you're really eager to get to and a number of books that you're like significantly less eager to get to, shuffle them around and then draw one of those. And I know that it's like really flexible, but I don't have that kind of like flexibility in my March TBR, so I think I'm gonna pick to read a first book in a series. But here's the problem. I don't have any first books in the series except for the one that came in on Libby last week, which is Foundry Side, which is something that I've been wanting to read forever, and it's come through Libby before, but I haven't read it in time, so I've had to like return it and replace my hold and all that. So I definitely want to read it. It's just 18 hours long. So my plan is to read Displacement and then probably spend the rest of the day listening to Foundry Side, taking a healthy chunk out of it, because like I have stuff that I need to get done around the house today anyway, so probably an audiobook is the way to go for my productivity. I will have completed by the end of the readathon ACOWAR, The Kingdom, and Displacement, and hopefully maybe about half or a third of Foundry Side by the end, but I will let you know. I'm gonna sit down and read Displacement, and I think it's gonna be really quick, so I will update you once I'm done with that. Okay, so holy shit, it's been like 2 hours I think since we last talked. I have since read this. This was amazing. I'll give you the full lowdown in a bit. I needed to like shower and get my life together. There's a little bit more than 4 hours left. I think Becca is about to start her last sprint, which means I will start Foundry Side during this last sprint and hopefully get a few hours into it, take a good chunk out of that beast of a audiobook, which is great. I'm feeling good about myself that I will have finished 3 books and started that audiobook. I'm looking at my very official list here on this ripped index card. My dad is working on my car today, so like grateful for him for helping me out there, but it leaves me stranded in my house, so I'm gonna have to find some things to do. Not that I'm at a loss for things to do, but he also like came over and fixed my shower, which is why I am not showered yet. So my drain actually works now, my bathtub actually works again, and I'm very excited. So I think I'm gonna go take a luxurious long shower without the water filling up to my ankles, and probably have another cup of coffee, and then I will talk to you later. Okay, this is a strange update. I feel like I am repeating myself.
Bitch, are you dumb?
Pardon me?
Are you dumb?
I think she's dumb.
I think she's dumb.
I think she's dumb. Are you?
Okay, hello. It is the end of bookoplathon. This is Sunday if you're new here. I am, I think like 3 or 4 hours into Foundry Side, and I'm hooked. Like I love it. I love the magic system. I love that the character is like a thief and is kind of like morally gray. I love the plot of the book. I think it's going to end up being a heist, if I'm correct. Like, I think that's the trope of this book. But like, I know that I have like 16 hours left, but I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I feel like this could be a new favorite. I haven't felt this way this early about a book in so long. I'm so excited. But I also realized that I never told you about Displacement. I just was so excited that I told you it was amazing, but I didn't tell you anything about it. So this is so fucking good that I don't even know where to start on it. It's like, I think it took me an hour to read it. This follows like a fictionalized like sci-fi version of the author's family history, including herself, where kind of in like an Octavia Butler style, which she credits in the acknowledgements, she, the author slash main character, will go back in time accidentally and she can't control it and ends up like following her grandmother who she never met. And her grandmother and great-grandparents were forcefully relocated to the Japanese internment camps that were a thing in 1942. And so Kiku ends up also living through the internment camps. And so Kiku makes like her own friends and her own experiences and comes to terms with some of her own like trauma that has just been like passed down from generations since her great-grandparents and her grandmother and her mother. It's such a fascinating look at how intergenerational trauma is like within specifically Japanese American families has been passed down in the last few decades since the 40s, but also like not just since the 40s. This also talks about in the 60s with Kiku and her mom, how it was like the birth of the model minority myth that was like placed onto Asian Americans by white supremacy. Just seeing it in this way, like with this family in the different time periods, was just so powerful, and I'm so grateful and happy to have read this. The main thing about this was that it places a strong emphasis on the idea that if we don't learn about our history, then we are at risk of repeating it. But overall, wow, another excellent graphic novel narrative that I didn't know anything about, had heard nothing about, but it was incredible. Incredible. But that's gonna do it for bookoplathon. What a crazy weekend. Well, I guess I'd started ACOWAR before this weekend, so I finished ACOWAR, started and finished 2 other books, and then started Foundry Side. So I'm very excited about my reading success this weekend, and I'm just so grateful to Becca for hosting this. I loved bouncing around all of the live shows. I'm especially grateful to my friend Deja, who was one of the co-hosts and was lovely and kind enough to ask me to join that live show, which is where so many of my new friends just came from. So really happy to have everyone here. So this is the end of this vlog. Thank you so much for sticking around. Really appreciate all of you here, even though I'm feeling some weird type of way about having all these new faces around. But I will see you guys next time. I've got a lot of really fun content coming up in the works, so I will see you when I see you. Okay, love you, bye.